Hi guys, I'm back. It's my second video and it's Saturday, October 30th. Tomorrow is Halloweeny. Tomorrow's Halloween. Yeah, I like tongue. I like tongue. If you start to notice during this video that my lipstick is gone, cheers. That's why. Do you guys like my witch's cloak? Can you tell I like bats? Aren't they so cute? Have you ever looked at a bat? Like really looked at a bat? They're so cute. They're like, I can't talk about it. I'm gonna get tears in my eyes. They are so cute. They're like puppies with wings. If you don't believe me, Google it. I swear to you, they are the cutest little creatures ever. I figured this out because I went camping with my husband once. I lasted till 2 a.m. and then I went in. There was bats everywhere, and I'm scared of, well, I was afraid of bats because I never saw one up close. I didn't know what they looked like. I just thought they were these vampires with wings like flying around, and I was like freaked out. We were out and like down in the hills, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So then we got in our tent. I'm like, well, there's no bats in here. And then the lights, like my husband went out. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, my husband, it was really dark. We were in this big field, and my husband went outside the tent, and all I saw was a freaking spider shadow this big on the tent. That was it. Spiders are my kryptonite. If you no, I will never like spiders. I will never not be absolutely terrified of spiders. They scare me. I had a spider bite me once, and it was terrifying. I was like, nope, we're done. We're going inside. I couldn't do it. I was trying to be cute for you guys for the spooky. I feel like a condom. Sorry. I don't think we're gonna wear this. I had a backup plan. Hold on. I can't. I don't think this is working because I have to zoom in my video, and I feel like all you guys are gonna see, you're not gonna see the top. That's a witch's hat. It's gonna look like I'm wearing a sombrero. I mean, sombreros are cute, but that's not the video today, so we're not gonna do that. It's cute though, isn't it? Isn't it pretty? It's all shimmery. I really wanted to tell you guys like a spooky story for Halloween, like a spooky true crime. So it's true crime and it's spooky. And I could not find one that I liked or people haven't heard. Maybe people have heard this. It happened not far from me. I was like, I have to tell about this. This is like spooky and very intriguing. And you can tell me if you think it's like BS or not. We shall see. Sorry, I slurp. I'm a slurper. So let's get started. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you think that spirits can talk to us in our dreams? Anyways, I had put this in the last video, but I cut it out because it just didn't go with the flow. But I got this classic ghost stories. I got it at the Cracker Barrel. Who would have thought? Have you ever really went shopping at the Cracker Barrel? They have good stuff. But I'm going to be honest, I haven't opened this book since last Halloween, and I found it and I was like, oh my gosh, it'll be so cute in my background, like my setup. The story we are talking about today is the Greenbrier Ghost. Yes, ghost. Like I said, it's a spooky one today, but it's also true crime. If you're scared, it's okay. You're gonna be fine. It's fine. It's Halloween. We're allowed to be scared today. And then tomorrow, it's gonna be Christmas time. It's gonna be fine. The Greenbrier Ghost. Yes. Today's story is about a ghost that solved their own demise. Murder. It's true crime and it's scary and it's perfect for today. It's perfect for what I wanted for today. I'm really excited. So let's get into it. Don't be scared. It's going to be fine. We're here together. It's going to be fine. Can you hear that? Okay. It's about a lovely young woman named Elva Zona Heister Shue. Yes, Elva Zona Heister Shue. She was a babe, right? Now, back in the day, y'all, they had to sit there forever. I have something in my eye again. Like, they had to sit there like this. Forever. Props to looking good in this old picture, girl. Because you had to sit there forever, probably. She's a total babe. Elva Zona went by Zona. She preferred her middle name, so that is how I am going to refer to her today. Funny, because I have a long, weird name too. My long name, you ready for this? Sharon, Rogine, Kathleen, Tolliver. Okay? It's a mouthful. I get it, girl. I get it. Okay? I have the same deal. So the lovely Zona, she met a blacksmith that had came to her little old town. Now, I know what you're thinking. I mean, he cute. He cute, right? Like, get it, girl? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, they married very quickly. Look at that face. Can you blame her? Now, we're going to talk about Mama Mary Jane. Mama Mary Jane Heaster. This was Zona's mother, and I like her a lot. You're going to like her too. She was a mama bear. She was protective over her daughter, her young daughter who had never been married, who had never had any children, nothing. Now, we have to remember, you guys, this was in the 1800s. This was Zona's first marriage, as usually it was for women. They usually only were, getting remarried or having multiple marriages if they were widowed. There was divorce back then, but it wasn't very common. It had to be like some serious-ish, you know what I'm saying? So when this handsome blacksmith rolls into town, her mom's like, okay, let's calm down. Zona, let's calm down for a second. Like, let's think about this. But Zona had her mind made up. She wanted to marry this guy. They fell head over heels. They fell for each other quickly, and they married very quickly as well. Living in this little town, young, pretty girl, cute guy rolls in, blacksmith. Anyway, but you guys get it, right? Put yourself in her shoes. Even though it was in 1890, whatever, she couldn't swipe left, right on Tinder. Now, do you guys want to know what his name is? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? Okay, get ready. His name was Erasmus. Stop, Sharon. Stop. Erasmus Stribling Trout Shoe. I am not lying. That is his name. So if a cute guy like that rolled up to me like, hey girl, like, coming into town, I'd be like, okay, what's your name? And he's like, Erasmus Trout. I'd be like, excuse me. I'd be like, okay, can I call you Edward? And he'd be like, yeah, sure. And I'd be like, okay. Well, that's what he went by. He preferred Edward. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm a Twilight fan from back when. It's fine. I had to. So like I said, you guys, she married him very soon after he rolled into town. And her mother, Mary Jane, very concerned, super concerned. She's like, girl, pump the brakes. We don't know anything about this guy. Her mom had vibes. I get vibes. She had vibes, and the vibes were not good. She did not have a good feeling about this guy. She was trying to warn Zona, like, girl, you need to, no, this is too fast. We don't know anything about him. Mothers will do that. But her mom, she just had a really bad feeling. If you're a mom, that mother's intuition, usually it's right? It's usually right. Mine's usually right. And Mama tried, but Mama failed. And Zona was a 21-year-old girl. She's going to do what she wants. But her mom tried, and she married him anyway very quickly after they met. Mama Mary Jane was right about her mama intuition, because 3 months into Zona's marriage, she was found dead in the home she shared with her husband. Zona's husband, like I said, was a blacksmith, so he was working during the day, and one day he decided to send a little boy from the town. So he sent this little boy, who I couldn't find age, name, or anything like that, but he sent this little boy to run to his home with his wife. This is the home. He sent the boy to go check with Zona to see if she needed anything from the market before he came home for the day. But the little boy stumbled into something that he never thought he would. He went into Zona's house that she shared with her husband, Edward. We're going to call him Edward because that's what he preferred to be called, and I cannot say Erasmus. And what he found was not good. He discovered Zona's lifeless body in her home. So the little boy obviously was absolutely traumatized, and he's like, holy, she's not alive. What is going on? And he took off. He ran to his home. He got his mother, and he told his mother, oh my gosh, she's dead, whatever he said. And his mother quickly, she didn't go to the house, she didn't do anything like that. She quickly contacted the local doctor, Dr. Knapp, and she let him know, like, hey, my son just came home and said Zona is, like, dead. I don't know what's going on, but somebody needs to go over there and check this out. So by the time the doctor got this news, you guys, they didn't have cell phones then, they had beepers, they had nothing. So they had to, like, get to one house, go do the way to the other house, like, get the, you know, so this probably took a little bit of time. So by the time Dr. Knapp got to Zona and Edward's home, Edward was already there, okay? And Edward cleaned up. Everything was cleaned up. Even Zona, her body had been cleaned, bathed, and prepared for burial. He already did all this. So he came home, he allegedly found his wife. He found his wife not alive. What he also did was he dressed her. He dressed her in like a blouse, like a turtleneck, high neck, and a veil over her body. So at this point, Dr. Knapp is on his way over, and he's like going to see what happened, examine the body, find the manner of death. He gets there, he sees Edward has already done all of this, so he's like, okay, well, I still have to examine the body. I have to see what happened here, you know, whatever, do my examination, investigation, whatever. And Edward is like freaking out, crying, hovering over this part of her body, shoulders up, what you can see on me pretty much. And he is like freaking out, crying, hysterical. So the doctor's like, okay, understandable. I'm going to check the bottom half of the body. Give him a minute. You know, he just lost his wife. So he's doing that and he sees no signs of foul play or anything. He's like, okay. So he goes to check the top part, and Edward starts, every time he tries, Edward becomes violent, keeps crying. He will not let anyone go near the top half of his wife's body. So the doctor thinks that's super strange, but he's like, okay, well, he's becoming violent with me at this point, so, like, there's nothing I can do about that. So the doctor rules her death as something super weird. He ruled her death as everlasting fainting. I could not find what this meant, like, at all. I could not find this being used for anyone else's deaths, or I don't know, like, I could not find anything. So later, so the doctor labeled her death at first. Later, he went back and he changed it to complications from pregnancy. And this, what Dr. Knapp was Zona's doctor. But there's no record of her being pregnant. Dr. Knapp said he had previously been treating her for female complications. Or no, I think he called it female trouble. I don't know what that means, but that's what he said, and that's what he had been treating her for, and that's all we know. So later, changed the manner of death to complications from pregnancy, but yet we don't even know if she was pregnant. Super weird. The doctor never got to examine this top part. Neck, shoulder, head, area, none of that. He never got to examine it because obviously the husband was being super protective. The doctor left. So her body was taken to her childhood home. It was called Little Sewell, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Little Sewell Mountain in West Virginia. She was taken there so that she could be buried, and she was actually buried the next day. She was buried on January 24th, January 24th, 1897. So she died the day before. No thorough examination, buried the next day. So during the funeral, Edward was acting kind of funny. Acting a little weird. He was acting like hella strange, okay? He was like wrapping a scarf around her neck and saying he didn't want her to like get cold or something in death, or I don't know, something like that. And he was putting pillows behind her head to prop her up more, saying he wanted her to be comfortable in death, and like just doing super weird stuff. And everyone at the funeral, I guess, was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but he's grieving, whatever. And the mom, the whole time, Mary Jane, is like, mm-mm. Like, she knew. You guys remember Mary Jane? Mama intuition. She was like, no, it's not, no, this isn't right. Why is he doing this? You guys, her mom never liked the dude anyway. Remember? She didn't like him. She was like trying to get her daughter not to marry him, thought he was just had bad vibes. So from the moment that she found out her daughter just died, she was like, no, like, he did something is not right here. I gotta figure this out. So the mom knows. She's like, there's no evidence that he killed my daughter. There isn't anything. But her mom, I guess, was like a really religious woman. So she started doing what she knew best, and she just started praying to the Lord above. And she was like, please send me something that I can like figure out what really happened to my daughter. sign, something, evidence, something he needs to be held accountable because I know he did something to my daughter. For several nights, she was just praying her little heart out, just trying to find something that could help her figure out what on earth happened to her daughter. So a whole month goes by. A month after the funeral, all of a sudden, this was when her daughter's ghost started to visit her extremely vividly in her dreams. This is kind of what was described, this picture I'm going to pop up here, was what was described her mom was seeing. That would not be pleasant to see that. And her mom was seeing visions of her daughter with her neck broke. And she was like, what is going on here? Now, this was not just one night, you guys. Her mother stated that this was multiple nights. Her dreams were so intense and real that she couldn't believe it. And her daughter was telling her it was Edward. Zona's ghost in the dream, her mother said, she clearly said that her husband Edward killed her by choking her. And you want to know why he killed her? This is what Zona's ghost said, okay? He choked her and then he broke her neck and he killed her because she did not have any meat for dinner that night. Really? She said that he did this because he returned home that day and she did not have any meat for his dinner. I will cut in here and say this is kind of weird because he sent the boy to check and see if she needed anything from the market and he found her dead. But if he choked her because she didn't have any meat for dinner, I don't know. It's weird, right? Maybe he went home earlier and was like, what's for dinner? And she was like, corn. And he was like, what? Where's the meat? And she was like, wait. We don't have any. This is what you're eating. And I don't know. This is weird. But this is what her mother said was said to her by her daughter's ghost. And that is just what we have to go by. At this point, the mom just kept having the dream night after night after night so vividly. And she was like, my daughter's trying to talk to me, obviously. But you guys, wait, listen, okay? The mom was not wrong. Okay, listen, this is where it gets crazy. So the mom goes to the sheriff of the town. Not the sheriff. I think the prosecutor. She goes to the town prosecutor. His name was John Alfred Preston. And I could not find a picture of John. I apologize. I was very curious as to what he looked like, but I couldn't find him anywhere. But we do know he was the prosecutor at the time that all this was going on in their town. So Mama Mary Jane, she tells John about all of these dreams. And John's like, oh, okay, that's a little weird. He's a little skeptical, I get it. I probably would have been too. So I do know that she told him about the experience with Dr. Knapp. And she told him that Dr. Knapp told her, yeah, I tried to examine her. He wouldn't let me. He started to become violent with me. And there was nothing I could do. And she had told the prosecutor this. And he was like, all right. So she had told him about the ghost situation, her daughter's ghost talking to her. And then she told him about the violent thing with the doctor. And he was like, okay, I'm going to check this out. We're going to open this investigation. We're going to see what's going on here. On February 22nd of 1897, so this was almost a month after she was buried, they actually exhumed her body. Now, Zona's body was taken to an old schoolhouse. They put her body in a room, and they actually did an autopsy, to the best of their ability over 100 years ago. And this autopsy examination took 3 hours. That's why Edward wasn't there, so he couldn't stop anybody. I wonder if he even knew this was happening. I'm going to guess no. So guess what they found during this autopsy? You're never going to believe it. You might. They found that her neck was indeed broken. Her neck was broken. Just like her mother said in the dreams. Just like her mother said, her neck was broken. And her windpipe was crushed. Okay, that's a lot. that's a lot. Her neck was broke. She even had finger marks, bruising finger marks that look like a man's, I guess, on her neck. I don't know how bodies work after decomposition. They exhumed her a month after her death. Would that still be there? Would bruises still be there? Because I read that they were there. I don't know. Is that real? Maybe. I don't know. Her ligaments were torn in her neck. Oh my God. I don't know what the heck happened, but that all sounds it sounds intense, right? It sounds like something definitely happened. This was not no pregnancy issues. Something happened to Zona that she could not have done herself. Like, no way. Immediately, they go and they arrest Edward. They go and they arrest him and they put him in jail. Put him in jail for the murder of his wife. He's probably like, what is going on here? I thought I got away with this. It goes to trial. Yeah, they had those back then. So this case goes to trial. Edward sits in jail. And while he's sitting in jail, he's starting to talk to his little buddies in jail. He's starting to tell them, like, okay, this is what he told his little buddies in jail, right? You don't talk to people in jail. They're snitches. I know they say snitches get stitches, but maybe they didn't get that memo back in the 1800s. This is when it comes to light that he actually wanted to have 7 wives. And he was telling the guys in jail, well, Zona was my 3rd wife. What? Edward? You've been married? You've been married before? Oh, yes, he has. So Edward had 1 wife. No. Okay. Zona was his 3rd wife. So listen to this. Edward's 1st wife, they got divorced. And do you want to know the reason why she divorced him? The reason on the divorce from his 1st wife was from, she stated, like, cruelty. Like, he was cruel to her. Like, cruelty. I don't know. Things were different back then, how they labeled everything. But that is why she divorced him, because he was cruel. Cruelty, something like that. So then Edward's 2nd wife, guess what? Dead. She died. And she died very mysteriously, just like Zona. And they could never figure out why. They couldn't figure out why she died. Kind of weird. Edward. And wife number 2, little wifey number 2, she died less than a year after their marriage took place. So yeah. That's all we know, though. We don't know much about that one, but we do know she died mysteriously. And he's telling his little jail buddies that he wants to have 7 wives. Like, that was his plan. His plan was to have 7 wives. Zona was number 3. I'm not sure what that's all about, but that's what he told them. Edward liked to talk to the reporters, and he would tell the reporters that he was an innocent man. He loved his wife. He had nothing to do with her demise. He had nothing to do with her death. There was a big lack of physical evidence. Now, you guys, in this day and age, like, you'd be lucky to even get a prosecutor to take the case, but if you got it to go into a court of law, the jury would have to find over, like, reasonable doubt, all that stuff. Like, it probably wouldn't happen. Yes, I know the system is, like, so crazy anyway, but I don't think that would happen. So, yeah. There was a big lack of evidence there. Now, this was on a jury trial. The trial actually began on June 22nd, 1897. So this was almost around 6 months after Zona had passed away. And guess who the star witness was? Mama Mary Jane, of course. She was the star witness for the prosecution. So Mary Jane in court told all about her ghostly dreams, her ghostly sightings of her daughter, the conversation she had with her daughter as a ghost, telling her, showing her visibly that her neck was broken. And then they, obviously brought up in court about how the mother saw this. They exhumed the body and they found that this is exactly what happened to her. Creepy, right? So Edward's lawyer, he had a lawyer, and his lawyer was like, girl, no, you can't come in here saying you saw your daughter's ghost and saying that your daughter, was haunting you, telling you, this, that, and the other thing. And this, he tried to intimidate her in the cross examination, and it actually backfired and blew up in his face, because Mama Jane is, a savage, and she was like, no, you're not going to intimidate me, you're not going to whatever, this is what happened, this is what I know, there's evidence now that she did, in fact, break her neck, blah, 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 and there was no evidence of anyone else being there, he killed my daughter. She stood her ground, and, yes, girl. I did not read anything about, proof of an alibi for him or anything, so I am not sure about that. I couldn't find anything. I could not find an alibi anywhere, so I don't think he had one. Guess what? June 11th, the jury came to a conclusion. Guess what it was? Guilty. Edward Erasmus was guilty. Sorry, his name is so funny. Edward was guilty of killing his wife, Zona. Yes, he was found guilty in a court of law. And guess what happened after that? There's just so much chaos that keeps happening. So then, like, do you guys know what a lynch mob is? Oh, it's horrible. So they're bad people. They're not good. There's many things in history where these lynch mobs, like, harm innocent people. Oh, we're not going to get into that. But the lynch mob comes, and here's a picture of one I found, like, illustration. They come, and they're, like, freaking out, like, kill him, blah, 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 blah. They're trying to, like, break into the court or the jail or whatever, like a bunch of people from the town. They're pissed that Edward killed his wife, and they're like got a noose, and they're like, we're gonna go hang him and whatever. But thankfully the sheriff, the officers, whatever at the time, were able to like break this up. 4 of the people from the lynch mob were charged with this. Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. That's y'all, like, chill. You can't do that, okay? He's going to go to jail. It's going to be fine. Calm down. Edward was sentenced to life in prison. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, this was weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously, the mom having that dream, she could have said anything, but she did say he broke her neck. They exhumed her. They found she broke her neck. He had no alibi that we can see. I mean, yeah, I think he did it. I don't know. There's no hard evidence, but I think he did. I think he did it. So I'm going to say he deserved a life sentence in jail to think about what he did, because that was not right. If you want to have a bunch of women, go have girlfriends. Don't get married. Okay? Okay. Edward died in prison March 13th of 1900. So he did not last long, friends. He did not last long at all. He lasted, 3 years? Not very long. And he died of some unknown epidemic that went through the prison or something. I don't know. So he was pretty young when he died. He didn't last long. Actually buried in the West Virginia State Penitentiary Cemetery in an unmarked grave. Sorry, Edward. So you guys, look here. The state of West Virginia erected a historical marker. That's interesting, right? Up here so you can read it. I'm going to wait a second. I'm just going to put it over my face. Ready? Go. Read. I can't read it. I don't have it in front of me. So you guys, that is the story of the Greenbrier Ghost. The story of Zona and what happened to her. And what do you think? Do you think her husband killed her? Do you think her ghost really visited her mother in her dreams? Do you think we can see ghosts and like talk to them in our dreams? Do you think that's possible? Do you think we can do that? I mean, I don't know. What do you think? It wasn't as scary as So anyway, let me know what you thought of today's ghost story. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Make sure you like this video, because if you like my video and you subscribe, I guess that's good for me on YouTube. I'm brand new. I have like less than 20 subscribers at this point. But I'm just here to have fun with you guys. If there's any case suggestions that you have for me that you want me to look into or you want me to do on the channel, put them in the comments, because I'm always wanting to know, like, what do you guys think I should do? And yeah, that's all I got. I'm going to put it back on just for you guys for a second. Update. I drank all the wine. All right. See you later. Happy Halloween. Bye.